It was lights, camera action for more than 10,000 students who participated in the largest student film festival. University of Georgia's Laura Thomas takes us to the Atlanta Symphony Hall for the finale of Campus Movie Fest.
Definitely not.
With the captivating films
It ain't very becoming of a Sheba like yourself.
and huge crowds, you just might forget you're watching movies made by students.
So you don't have to be a film major to do a movie. You could be a group of students, I guess in a freshman dorm making a movie.
And it's not the Oscars up for grabs, it's the golden tripods at the Atlanta finale of Campus Movie Fest.
I keep our fingers crossed.
Campus Movie Fest gives students a laptop and a camera for 1 week with total creative license to make a 5-minute film.
We created a fake slice of awful TV.
The idea is a blockbuster in itself with over 10,000 participants, and that's just in the state of Georgia.
There's nothing like a competition like this.
No one's losing a fortune, you know, no one's career's being dashed on the rocks, so it's the necessary first step. It's that first, get out the door, start doing it.
And the winner for Best Picture is? Till Death from the University of Georgia. A stylized noir with a cliffhanger deadly ending.
It was great to have like a huge team just pour their heart and soul into the entire film.
The other big winner from UGA was Iris, voted Best Drama. A heartwarming story about rediscovering love with a real-life twist.
We found our actor, and we couldn't find anyone to be our lead actress. He's like, oh, I know this girl. And we're like, okay, so we need some pictures of you two and make it look like you guys were, in love way back then. And so he comes up, he's like, by the way, we kind of dated long ago. And throughout the movie, they started to rekindle some stuff, and now they're back together. It was quite a fairy tale.
So it was exactly the story of the movie, basically. It happened in real life.
From Atlanta, Laura Thomas, OSTN News from the University of Georgia.
Clark Atlanta University has an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the College Movie Fest as well. Here's Derek Lyles with more.
Campus Movie Fest allowed unprecedented access to Newsbreak to see what goes on behind the scenes for the making of Atlanta Grand Finale. We spoke to Abe Muhammad Dihon to see why Atlanta is special.
As with all the different cities we go to, Atlanta's home for all of us, and we love being in Atlanta, and we get to be around our friends and family. There's definitely that really friendly feel to Atlanta. California's a little different. Everyone's more competitive, and they all want to win the best picture, whereas here you have hundreds of students at each school just wanting to make a movie for fun with their friends.
Clark Wolf explains how Campus Movie Fest has gotten so popular.
I think that it's just getting bigger and bigger every year, which is really key. But the thing that's so cool about it is that it's the same guys who started it, so they keep the whole organization really grounded. They have the same office, and it doesn't matter how big the sponsors get. It doesn't matter how many cities they expand to or whatever. They still, they're the same guys with the same heart. It's all, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for aspiring filmmakers.
With the attendance records in Atlanta for the grand finale, it proves that the Campus Movie Fest will be a force to reckon with for filmmakers for years to come. I'm Derek Lyles for OSTN News.
The Atlanta finalists will face other student films from around the world in the Campus Movie Fest in June. And speaking of June, a lot of people from around the country can't wait for summer to get here. Here's a look at weather where you are. USC will be consistent for the week with nice sunny spring-like weather, highs in the 70s and the low around 50. Heading northwest to the University of Montana, we'll see snow flurries and 30-degree highs the first half of the week, but by the end of the week, it'll be partly cloudy with highs in the 40s, lows in the 30s. At Columbia College in Chicago, students can expect spotty snow showers throughout the week. Temperatures remain stable with highs in the 30s and lows in the 20s. They could, however, see a little sunshine peek through toward the end of the week. In the Northeast, students at Syracuse University can expect a pretty snowy wintry mix of precipitation all week. They might see a little break of sunshine on Friday, highs in the 30s, lows in the 20s. Heading towards the Gulf, University of Houston students should grab their umbrellas. The week starts off with spring-like thunderstorms and crisp temperatures, high of 60 and low of 39 for Monday, but the rest of the week can expect highs in the 70s and lows in the 50s. At the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, students will see a mostly sunny week with some spring-like thunderstorms on Tuesday, highs in the 60s and lows in the 30s. Here at the University of Miami, students can look forward to the chilly weather moving out. Expect record highs in the 80s and lows in the 60s. Students should anticipate some scattered thunderstorms throughout the week with a 30% chance of rain. However, by Friday, we'll be back to beach weather. That's it for the nation's weather. We got more news for you, and Ryan Rose is going to tell you who's in and who's out in this year's NCAA tourney. Sports coming up next. Stay tuned.
I'm Bear Grylls from Man vs. Wild, and you're watching OSTN News.
The race to the White House is bringing light to many political issues.
Arizona State's Christine Ong shows us how one group stands to benefit from the limelight.
We cannot wait to bring change to America.
For the Democrats, this election is an election full of firsts in the area of race and gender, but also gay and lesbian rights. For the first time, all of the Democratic candidates have launched committees designed to address lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender issues. While the major three Republican contenders dismiss gay rights, both Senator Clinton and Obama say they support gay unions. These are some of the major issues Democratic candidates say they will change. Change at the national level could also lead to change in Arizona. Gilbert's Mike Crum hopes this means he might actually be able to marry his partner of 11 years.
Whether that is under the form of civil unions or marriage, I don't personally care at this point. I just want to have the same rights as my sisters have with their husbands.
But people like Crum say where he works, being openly gay is not as easy.
You don't want to fear that you're going to lose your income and your livelihood just because someone in the office objects.
And Crum says regardless of who wins, the candidates are already changing the way people talk about gay rights. This is Christine Ong at Arizona State University for OSTN News.
Most of us think that high cholesterol and heart attacks are things that happen to us later in life, but younger generations are learning that later in life may come a bit sooner. Northwestern Shannon Donahoe has more.
31-year-old Tara Jackie certainly looks like a healthy young woman, but just 2 years ago she knew something didn't feel quite right and drove herself to the ER.
So I stayed in the hospital over one night before they actually told me that yesterday you had a heart attack.
That news sent Jackie's looking back to what could have caused the heart attack.
High cholesterol and cases of heart attacks have run in my family, but I'm the youngest at this point. And it was mostly the men. So I'm like the first female and the youngest. And it was just, something that I thought about like for the future.
Dr. William James Howard is a lipidologist at the Washington Hospital Center. He says young adults should be concerned about their heart health before it's overdue.
This is a silent disease until it reaches up and takes a big bite out of your rear end when you have your first heart attack. Now, 1/3 of people will die with their first heart attack. And the younger you are, the more likely you are to die with your first heart attack.
That's because research shows young women wait up to an hour before going to the ER with heart attack symptoms. And because young women don't think they're at risk, ignoring the warning signs can prove deadly. The American Heart Association reports heart disease in young women accounts for 16,000 deaths a year.
The other issue is we're used to thinking women don't have heart attacks. Well, women die of heart attacks 3 times more frequently than they die of all the cancers put together.
And the key to making sure your heart acts its age is all about prevention.
Worse, and it gets worse until you have this. So to not check your cholesterol, your blood pressure, your blood sugar periodically is really doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because they are all treatable, preventable disease.
Doctors recommend young people from the age 20 on get their cholesterol checked at least once every 5 years. From Northwestern University in Washington, this is Shannon Donahoe, OSTN News.